This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this April 28th. Homicide detectives are investigating after a man was found dead in a car overnight. What police are telling us about this case. The coronavirus is hitting Indiana families hard, and more are in need of a little extra help. What the state is doing to step up its food assistance and health care programs. With schools closed, districts are working hard to keep students fed. How one program is also helping fill their appetite for learning. But before we get to our top stories today, we've got to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast. Our Todd Clausen is standing by from home this morning. And Todd, what can we expect for our Tuesday?
You know, we expect mild temperatures, in fact, warmer than yesterday, but a little more in the way of cloud cover as well, Lauren, and also the chance of rain. Now, I talked about cloud cover and rain. With that said, it is not a bad day for us here throughout the day today. There is some rain on Storm Team 6 radar. It's in northern locations, but it's really starting to fall apart. That is the good news. And you can, for those of you in Hartford City over towards Marion, back towards Kokomo, there's a few very light spotty showers, and they're nothing more than showers. There's no lightning here. And this rain, if you are seeing it to the north, will quickly race off towards the east. However, there's a cold front off to our west. That swirl that you see there near Minneapolis and Bismarck and Oklahoma, that is what's going to be heading in our direction later on this evening. Until then, can't rule out a stray shower throughout the day, but we're in the 50s and 60s right now. Temperatures today easily will be climbing up into the low to mid 70s. It's the warmest day of the work week that we have left. And overall, it's going to be dry. We'll talk more about the rain that'll arrive tonight with the chance of maybe a few stronger storms coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at the road work going on over here on the east side. This is I-70 and Sherman Drive. You can see traffic there is not moving. That's because both eastbound and westbound lanes are closed. The only vehicles you're seeing out there right now are construction workers and contractors working on both directions of the interstate. It's closed between the North Split and 465 on the east side. 30-day closures in both directions. The westbound lanes closed just this past Friday. We'll keep you updated on the progress of that east side road work. Now to some news from overnight. Homicide detectives are investigating a man's death on Indy's west side. Officers were called to the 1500 block of Herschel Avenue near Riverside Park around 11 o'clock last night on reports of a suspicious vehicle in an alley. When they arrived, they found a man in his late 20s suffering from an apparent gunshot wound inside his car. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene, and police asked that anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers. The U.S. Postal Service confirms that a postal worker was shot and killed while working on Indianapolis's east side yesterday afternoon. Police found the woman on Denny Street near Michigan Road around 4 p.m. She was taken to the hospital but later died. It's unclear what led up to the violence. Both Metro Police and the Postal Service, though, are investigating that shooting. Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. Nearly 1,000 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in the state of Indiana. That's the state's largest single-day increase so far in cases. That brings Indiana's total case count to nearly 16,000, The State Department of Health also reported 31 new deaths, bringing the total to 844. Officials say many of those newly confirmed cases come from Cass County, which now has the highest infection rate in the state. It spiked over the last week following an outbreak at the Tyson Meats plant in Logansport. The plant has since been shut down. It is 5:04. The Rebound Indiana is our initiative to make sure that you and the community make it through the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. That includes resources available at the local and state levels to help make your family meet those ends. Now, Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with how Indiana is expanding its support system for the families that need a little extra help right now. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. So the need for financial assistance in Indiana's households grows by the day as we're going through this global pandemic. And we know that that assistance program has had additional applications by the percentage of 75. So we are seeing quite a growth with the applications that are coming in. Indiana Family and Social Service Secretary Jennifer Sullivan says applications for SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, are more than 250% higher. And TANF, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program applications are just over 200% higher. Sullivan says food insecurity was already a widespread issue in Indiana before the pandemic. Now, 2 months into a stay-at-home order, Indiana's leaders are asking FEMA for a month's supply worth of food to give to Hoosier families.
Beginning this week, Indiana's 12 charitable food banks, a large community kitchen, and the Salvation Army of Marion County will begin receiving a weekly shipment of 125,000 FEMA meals.
And the additional food comes with additional assistance for health care as well. All Medicaid cost sharing is suspended, including the health insurance plan and children's health insurance plan. That means there are no co-payments at the doctors, and premiums are waived for the months of March through August 2020. And next month, anyone with students who typically qualify for free and reduced lunch programs at their schools, those families will qualify for SNAP benefits to feed their families. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. COVID-19 has devastated the economy and cost thousands in Indiana their jobs, but it's our mission to find and connect you with new jobs through our Hiring Hoosiers campaign. General Motors is looking to fill more than 1,000 positions at a plant in Kokomo, where thousands of ventilators will be produced by the end of August. There are still full-time and part-time temporary jobs available. Ivy Tech Community College is assisting GM with their hiring process. A virtual job fair is planned for May 6th at 11 a.m. For more information on those GM openings and how to apply and a look at other companies that are hiring right now, you can head to hiringhoosiers.com. A Bloomington company that shifted its strategy due to COVID-19 is now able to return furloughed workers to the payroll. MSP Aviation normally manufactures parts for airline and aerospace industries, but on Thursday it began assembling face shields for healthcare workers. A spokesperson for the company told RTV6 today that this transition has helped to keep employees on the job. The company initially had to furlough 15 workers due to slowed production due to most airlines being grounded, but they brought back near 3 of those workers last week. Another 6 returned this week, and the remaining 6 return next week. The company has the capability to make 25,000 face shields a week, but the goal is to ramp up to 500,000 per week if necessary. The United Way is helping families rebound by getting food to kids in need and by feeding their appetite for learning. Like many districts, Lawrence Township schools have been providing meals to students since canceling in-person classes. Now kids are also getting a free book, and it's all thanks to the United Way and Roche Diagnostics. They teamed up to donate books to the students as part of their Read Up program.
Since not all of the families coming through are Brook Park families, we're able to serve just the Brook Park community as a whole, which will be incredibly meaningful for our kids to have books in their hands.
Lawrence Township schools have 5 different distribution sites. RTV6 is proud to be working together with the United Way of Central Indiana during this crisis. We're teaming up for COVID-19 Community Economic Relief Fund. The initiative supports organizations that serve people and families affected by the pandemic. You can donate to this fund by texting HELP 2020 to 91999. The time right now is 5:08. It is Tuesday, and Todd, what can we expect as we head out the door?
You know, it's not a bad day for us today at all, Lauren. And as you walk out the door, you're walking out to temperatures that are in the 50s and 60s, so it's fairly mild. Some of you are seeing a spot shower or 2 this morning, but most of us are going to be completely dry here throughout the morning hours and eventually into the afternoon. So it's not a bad day despite the threat of rainfall late tonight. So throughout the morning hours here, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures that will be in the mid-50s. There's been some rain showers across northern parts of central Indiana. Those are 1 going off to the east pretty quickly, and 2 they're falling apart. So with the exception of a spot shower this morning there to the south, or to the north rather, we're in great shape. Going forward in this forecast, highs today anywhere from about 70 to 75 degrees. It's a really, really mild day for us. And then once we get into the evening hours, that's when the rain chances will ramp up. As those rain chances increase, so does the threat for some thunderstorms. And some of the storms could be borderline strong. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in Maine Weather here in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, it's been nearly 2 years since 17 people, including an Indianapolis family, died in a Missouri duck boat crash. Coming up, what we know about the investigation report set to be released today. Time right now is 5:09. We'll be right back after this short break.
The Connors, new ABC Tonight.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:12. New this morning, safety officials are set to release the results of their investigation into the duck boat crash that left 17 people dead, including 9 members of an Indianapolis family. For nearly 2 years, the National Transportation Safety Board has been investigating the cause of this crash near Branson, Missouri. The tourist boat was unable to make it back to shore after a storm hit in July of 2018. In November last year, the NTSB criticized the U.S. Coast Guard for ignoring recommendations to improve the boats after a deadly crash in Arkansas in 1999. The latest results from their investigation will be released today. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more information. With the U.S. rapidly approaching 1 million coronavirus cases, according to Johns Hopkins University, several states have already begun the phases of reopening and others are set to follow. But many health officials say there isn't enough testing for states to reopen in a safe manner, with the U.S. trailing other nations in per capita testing rates. It all comes as the president called Monday for ramped up testing across the country. Reed Binion reports.
Today we're releasing additional guidance on testing to inform the states.
President Trump laying out his administration's blueprint for states to handle increased coronavirus testing, which experts say is critical for states to safely reopen. Trump telling states they'll have to pull their own weight in terms of testing.
States should unlock their full capacity, expand the number of testing platforms, establish monitoring systems to detect local outbreaks, and conduct contact tracing.
As far as the tests themselves, the White House says the federal government is to act as the, quote, supplier of last resort. According to a White House official, the goal is for states to test a minimum of 2% of residents, with a priority on vulnerable groups and emergency workers. Antibody testing, another tool to help track the virus, was also mentioned as part of the new plan at Monday's briefing.
Really ensuring that the antibody tests that are utilized and recommended by both FDA and CDC have high quality in predicting both exposure to the virus and antibody development.
Those comments from White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx coming as the World Health Organization cautions that having coronavirus antibodies doesn't necessarily equal having immunity. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Congress will be back in session on Monday, May 4th. That's according to a tweet from House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer's press office. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell made a similar announcement regarding his chamber. Some House Democrats say they're worried about the spread of COVID-19 at the Capitol. Others say it might send the wrong message if they try to fly to Washington instead of sheltering in place. Today, Ohio's mail-in primary will serve as a test for the rest of the country. The state's canceled its voting last month, just hours before the polls were supposed to open. Since then, state officials have navigated through the election laws to land on the almost completely vote-by-mail primary. Voters are responsible for getting at least 3 forms to the post office: an application, a blank ballot, and a completed one. Anyone who missed the deadline to receive a ballot can still vote in person. Many governors are considering a similar system for November's general election. The time right now is 5:16 on our Tuesday. We want to get a check of our forecast with Todd Clausen. And Todd, today looks pretty good overall, I would say.
Yeah, it's not a bad day for us at all today, Lauren. You will hear the mention of rain in this forecast, but there are a lot of dry hours that are in place here across central Indiana before we get into some of these rain chances. So don't let the rain actually deter you from getting out and about and enjoying the mild temperatures. With that said, this morning there are a few spotty showers here near Kokomo as well as Marion over towards Hartford City, and that is just about it as far as rain this morning. Otherwise, we are looking at partly cloudy skies across the area. However, off to our west is a potent little system. The main area of low pressure is going to pass to the north, but the cold front extends down through parts of Nebraska, and that is what is going to be heading in our direction as we work our way throughout the course of the day. Now, with this cold front arriving off to our west through Missouri and parts of Illinois during the daytime hours, that's where the best threat of severe weather is going to be, at least here in the Midwest during the day today. By the time it gets to us, it is arriving during the evening hours. So that is going to result in the storms probably being in a weakening state as they arrive in our area. Here is TrueCast. You notice it's just a stray shower or 2 through 7, 8 o'clock this evening. Here comes that line of storms probably arriving to the west around midnight and then pushing into the area. And watch as I advance it past 1 o'clock here, how these storms kind of just fall apart. But we can't rule out the chance of an isolated thunderstorm warning throughout the overnight hours. And then Once the storms end, we'll continue to have rain showers in the forecast here through a good chunk of the day tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center has the western portions of the state under the slight risk for severe weather, or the marginal risk, I'm sorry. The slight risk is across parts of central Illinois. The threat for us mainly would be wind. It's a medium threat. The hail and tornado threat is a low today. There is a decent threat of some tornadoes across central Illinois, but again, that is off to our west. Today, temperatures are starting off in the 50s and 60s. It's a really mild start. We're going all the way up to high temperatures today that will be in the low to mid 70s. It's a warm day for us across the area today for you to get out and to enjoy. The dry conditions tomorrow will be dodging showers off and on, so take advantage of today. Then it's cooler for Thursday. Back to sunshine and 65, though, on Friday, very similar to yesterday. And at this point, the weekend really looks great. Saturday's terrific. Mid-70s, sunshine, Lauren. Sunday, we bring a few spotty showers into the forecast, but temperatures will still be in the 70s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic from our INDOT traffic camera on the southeast side. This is I-465 near Arlington Avenue, where you can see everything's traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. If you need to avoid I-70 on the east side for the closure, you can take 65 and 465 past this area as your detour to and from the east side, so keep that in mind for your commute. Let's take you now on I-70 all the way over to State Road 39, a little east of that spot. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed there as well. We'll continue to keep you updated for your commute. Right now, no major crashes or issues to slow you down around the metro area. New Zealand's Prime Minister is claiming a first in the pandemic that COVID-19 has been eliminated in the country. Just one new case was reported yesterday and 4 probable cases. New Zealand health officials say elimination does not necessarily mean 0 cases, but there are very few, and they know where they came from. New Zealand accounts for just 19 of the world's nearly 207,000 coronavirus deaths. The country has been under a strict lockdown for 5 weeks. An update for basketball fans on the NBA season. We told you yesterday that the NBA is considering allowing some team practice facilities to reopen as early as next week. For those that do, we're learning that there would still be strict social distancing restrictions. Players would wear face masks except when working out, and they'd have to stay 12 feet away from staff members. All workouts would be voluntary and limited to 4 players at a time without coaches present. There would also be a quarantine period for players returning from out of town. According to the Indiana Pacers spokesperson, David Benner, the team is waiting for further guidance from the governor before they decide if they will open their facilities. Communities continue to come together to show support during this pandemic. Just after the break, how one neighborhood is rallying behind a 2nd grader battling a brain tumor. The time right now is 5:20. Stick around. We'll be right back.
With AAA, get a quote and save up to 20%.
It is 5:24 on your Tuesday. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Here's a live look right now at traffic up in the Fishers area. Good morning to you. It's I-69 near 106th Street, where traffic's moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. No crashes here in Hamilton County to slow you down. Well, the community continues to work together to support neighbors in need during this pandemic. For a 2nd grader battling a brain tumor, that support was shown with a large parade of friends and fire trucks. Our Rafael Sanchez was in Bargersville for that special celebration.
This was all for Addison Barnes, the 2nd grader from Maple Grove Elementary School. She's battling a severe brain tumor known as DIPG. And as you can see, with the sirens, with the people, the signs, the vehicles of all sizes, they came out to support little Addison.
I loved it all.
All of it?
Yes.
Were you surprised?
Yes, I was.
Your mom and dad didn't tell you one bit about it?
I only saw my Aunt Whitney getting ready for it.
And you thought it was somebody's birthday?
Yeah.
Having a community like this, stand behind a family that's going through something like this is all you can ask for in a community.
It just makes us want to fight that much harder.
I thought it was great because it was all supporting her, and I thought it was amazing that all those people and more that weren't able to show up support her.
As you can see, the vehicles kept coming and coming. This parade began at 7. It lasted nearly half an hour, a major sign of support for this young girl. In Barkersville, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Oh, and Raphael, thank you for that story, little Addison. So sweet. A fellow Maple Grove star, Todd. So I am wishing her the very best in that fight. All right, we got to talk about our forecast today. Pretty good one for a spring day. We know things can be up and down, and so we're kind of in between, Todd, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, temperatures today are going to be warmer than yesterday. Now, we do have a little more in the way of cloud cover today compared to your Monday forecast. And there's the threat of some spotty showers. But with that said, a great opportunity still to get out and about today. Some spotty showers to the north this morning. They will be moving out pretty quickly. Temperatures range from 52, where it's a little rain cooled up there in Logansport, to 60 right now in Bloomington, 57 in Indy. Highs today will be climbing anywhere from about 73 to 76 degrees, maybe even a little bit warmer in spots. So it's very, very warm today. That is the good news. You see the thunderstorm icon there in the top left portion of your screen. Those storms, though, do not arrive until well after sunset tonight. But when they do arrive, Lauren, they will have the potential to be borderline strong to possibly severe.
Okay, Todd, thank you so much. A springtime staple set to return to Broad Ripple this weekend. Still ahead here on Good Morning Indiana, the changes you can expect before you head out to the farmers market. It's 5:27. We'll be right back.
Weeknights at 5:30. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Someone out there knows something. Someone saw something.
An 8-year-old boy shot and killed while eating dinner. Now at 5:30, what police say led up to the gunfire and how you can bring justice to his family. And the pandemic has caused more unemployment and more families to need some extra help. How Indiana is working to give more help to those in need. But before we get to our top stories here on our Tuesday, we got to get a check of our forecast at 5:30. Todd Clausen is standing by from home right now with what we can expect out there. Todd, it looks like a few rain showers right now on radar, but nothing too crazy happening.
Yeah, we've been tracking these showers through northern portions of central Indiana, Lauren, this morning. They're all very light, and really at this point, they're starting to fade away pretty quickly. That is the good news. We'll zoom in quickly to the northern part of central Indiana here, and you can see what's left. A spot shower or two there near the Greentown area over towards Hartford City, pushing towards Portland. A little bit of a heavier shower, and that is just about it. And once these showers come to an end this morning there in northern communities, we are done with rainfall for a while today. There is a lot of dry hours today. It's not really until that front that you see well off to our west makes its way into our area that rain does return, and that is not going to be until well after sunset. So essentially the daytime hours today will be dry. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s right now. It's going to be a very warm day for us as temperatures will be climbing all the way up into the low to mid 70s. In fact, some of you, if you can hang on to the sunshine long enough today before the clouds move in, will have the potential maybe to get close to 80 degrees. So it's a very warm day. Do not let the threat, Lauren, of me mentioning rain in this forecast deter you from getting out and about this morning or this afternoon. It's mainly an evening event. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here is a look right now at your morning commute in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 here at the North Split. You can see camera bouncing around a little bit there with some winds here downtown, but traffic is traveling up to speed. Don't forget, eastbound and westbound I-70 are both closed at the North Split all the way over to the east side at 465. Let's take you now up to the Whitestown area, I-65 near State Road 334. You can see traffic there is picking up on your Tuesday. No crashes to report around the metro area, but of course we'll keep you updated if we find any and if there are any delays. New on Good Morning Indiana, investigators are trying to learn what led to a man's death near Riverside Park on the city's west side. Officers were called to East Riverside Drive and Herschel Avenue around 11 last night on reports of a person shot. When they arrived, they found a man in his late 20s in a vehicle with gunshot wounds. The man was pronounced dead at the scene, and this morning his identity has not been released. Also this morning, Metro Police are asking the community to step up to help find whoever killed an 8-year-old boy. Investigators believe that a stray bullet struck and killed Roderick Payne Jr. as he sat inside his home eating dinner. That shooting happened back on March 31st on Tacoma Avenue near Keystone and on the northeast side. Detectives say the young victim and his family deserve justice.
Most of the people out there watching this probably have a child in their life in some way. I mean, just think about that. Think about the child that you know, your child, whether it's your child, a friend's child, or a relative, and for reasons that they had nothing to do with. One instant they're sitting there eating dinner, and the next one they're deceased.
If you know anything about either of those cases, please call Crime Stoppers. The time is 5:33, and COVID-19 outbreak continues to impact Hoosier families just like yours on a daily basis. On Monday, the Indiana State Department of Health reported 963 new cases of COVID-19. That's the largest single-day increase of cases so far in our state. Nearly 500 of the new cases of COVID-19 were reported up in Cass County. This morning, nearly 16,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the coronavirus since the pandemic began. State health officials also confirmed 31 additional deaths from the coronavirus. 844 Hoosiers have died so far from the coronavirus since the outbreak started. At 5:34, the Rebound Indiana is our initiative to make sure that you and the community make it through the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. That includes resources available at both the local and the state levels that are available to help your family. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us from the State House this morning. Alyssa, state officials have announced some major assistance opportunities to help Hoosier families. What are these all about?
That's right, Lauren. So that includes more ways to qualify for SNAP benefits. There's going to be more food coming into the Hoosier state from a federal level, and it also includes more health benefits for Hoosiers right here at home. So we know that the financial assistance in Indiana households is growing each day with this pandemic. Indiana Family and Social Services Secretary Jennifer Sullivan says applications for all state assistance programs are up 75%. Food insecurity was a widespread issue in Indiana before the pandemic, and starting this week, Indiana will be receiving a weekly shipment of 125,000 meals from FEMA to assist Hoosiers. These will be distributed to 12 food banks, a large community kitchen, and the Salvation Army. Along with the food, FSSA is also providing additional health care assistance.
In all Medicaid programs, cost sharing is suspended. This includes the Healthy Indiana Plan and the Children's Health Insurance Plan. This means there are no co-payments at the doctor, and premiums and power account contributions are waived for the months of March through August of 2020.
And next month, anyone with students missing out on their free or reduced price school lunches can receive SNAP benefits to feed their families, including families that wouldn't normally be eligible for food assistance. All of these actions are meant to help Hoosiers across the state of Indiana as we continue to deal with this pandemic. And we're also told that Family and Social Services representatives say the best way that you can help during this time, if you can help, is to give monetary donations to your local food bank. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Well, as the state considers the possibility of reopening, we're looking at what the governor is urging those businesses to do before opening their doors. Governor Holcomb says business leaders should start looking at what tools and procedures they will need to buy or form now before any of the stay-at-home orders are lifted. He says plans may even include having personal protective equipment supplies for staff members when they return to work.
Making sure that you can operate safely when that day comes. It may be next week, it may be 4 weeks from now, it may be after that. But in the meantime, that's what I said last week, don't squander this time to be ready to go when it's safe to go.
The governor says we may hear more about some reopening plans during this Friday's daily briefing. Some businesses are overwhelmed or confused by the loan options out there. Sylvia Captive owns Fiore Salon, and like many others, she's responsible for paying her landlord despite not being allowed to have customers under the stay-at-home order. She reached out to RTV6 for help after running into roadblocks.
I tried to apply for payroll protection program, but because my stylists are boot rent in the salon, they're not on payroll, so I don't qualify for this loan.
Well, after learning more about Captive's situation, here's what we found out. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, she can now apply for a loan, but she needs to use the self-employed option. She can also apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Captive tells RTV6 that she started the application process again with the help of this new information. Local farmers markets will be allowed to operate for the spring season. The popular Broad Ripple Market is getting ready to open on Saturday with some safety changes. People are being asked to wear masks. Pre-order online if you can. There will also be no dogs, no eating or drinking allowed on site. The owner of Caprini Creamery in Spiceland says 10 to 20% of the company's weekly income usually comes from the farmers market. He says that many steps are being taken to protect vendors and customers.
The State Department of Health, Indiana Grown, Indiana Farm Bureau have all supported rolling out procedures like this across the state. So there's going to be many farmers markets opening this Saturday. So a lot of people's livelihoods will be affected.
Another big change for the market this year, a new location. It will be in the parking lot near the Glendale Shopping Center. The Broad Ripple Village Association says IPS could not honor the lease for the typical location outside of the old Broad Ripple High School due to social distancing guidelines. All right, and talking about the farmers market, Todd has me feeling a little hungry early this morning, and it's time for Takeout Tuesday, so bring it on.
Yeah, and we're going to stay in Broad Ripple for Takeout Tuesday here, Lauren, and Takeout Tuesday, and We're Open is a partnership between local businesses and RTV6, and you can check them all out at theindychannel.com/open. And today we are going to feature a group of restaurants all owned by the same people, and that's Northside Social. It's just there at 65th and College in Broad Ripple, and right next door to the Northside Social, which is the biggest restaurant in the group, is the Northside Kitchenette and the Nook. The Nook is a pizza place. My top takes there at Northside Social: the Creole ravioli, the stout braised brisket, and the pimento mac and cheese. Northside Social is open Tuesday through Saturday for takeout. Partly cloudy skies today if you choose to take out and support not only Northside Social, but all the businesses here across central Indiana. It's going to be a good forecast for you. The storms arrive late tonight. Otherwise, temperatures today will be climbing, Lauren, up into the low to mid 70s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The White House laying out new nationwide testing plans as more states prepare to reopen. Straight ahead, what it looks like and who will now be allowed to administer those tests. It's 5:40. We'll be right back.
About to fix it.
Welcome back. Governors from states from Georgia to Tennessee out to Colorado, they're beginning to reopen their states, while some harder hit states say the battle is far from over. As ABC's Inez de la Cotera reports, all this was the president faces pressure to increase testing for the disease across the nation.
With a number of states taking steps to reopen, some restaurants in Georgia and Tennessee now resuming dine-in service.
I'm kind of excited because these are my family. I get emotional. But, these guys need work. They need to make money.
This Friday, some businesses in Texas planning to follow suit. In Ohio, manufacturing and construction resuming next week. And people in Washington state will be able to return to state parks and lands by May 5th.
We are close to the point in the spread of this virus where we can enjoy the outdoors again.
But in New York, the battle is far from over. Governor Andrew Cuomo revealing he plans to extend the shutdown for parts of his state.
Number of new cases, still 1,000 new COVID cases every day. Puts it in perspective.
Massachusetts seeing its surge plateau, but Governor Baker announcing nearly 2,900 people have died, a staggering 56% of them in nursing homes.
The numbers are tough to comprehend, but they illustrate the lethal grip COVID-19 can have on seniors.
Some good news out of New Orleans, where there were no new COVID deaths for the first time in 36 days. The White House now pushing governors to reopen schools and unveiling its blueprint to expand testing, aimed at answering criticism that the administration has acted too slow. A crucial part of the plan, allowing pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens to administer tests at hundreds of new sites. But Trump also insisting testing should be up to the states.
We are continuing to rapidly expand our capacity and confident that we have enough testing to begin reopening.
And more questions this morning about the administration's response. The Washington Post reports U.S. intelligence officials warned President Trump about the threat of the coronavirus in at least 12 classified briefings back in January and February. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
At 5:46, President Trump says he'll do fewer press briefings on the coronavirus, and it looks like the White House task force is scaling back as well. The task force was meeting daily for at least 90 minutes since it was formed months ago. During those meetings, they'd look at the latest data and the spread of the virus and prepare any recommendations. But they only had one quick meeting this weekend. Still, it's expected they'll release some new guidelines for the opening of the country later this week. At 5:46, we got to check in with our forecast for today. And Todd, what can we expect for our Tuesday?
You know, it's not a bad forecast for the day today, Lauren. If you would pull up the app on your phone, you'll probably see a rain icon. And that is not indicative of what's going to happen here throughout the day today. Yes, there are some rain chances, and we've been dealing with it this morning as well, with some spotty showers to the north. But by and large, today is going to be a dry day for the daytime hours ahead. So that is good news. Not only is it going to be dry, it's going to be mild as well. Portland, a spot shower back towards Hartford City, Marion as well. And that is just about it. Otherwise, we are looking at partly cloudy skies this morning and temperatures that are sitting in the 50s and 60s for the most part. The main focal point of the forecast does not arrive until late tonight. We're talking closer to midnight, and that's this storm system off to our west. This is where we find an area of low pressure and a pretty strong cold front that is going to be heading our way over the course of the day today. So let me walk you through the day using TrueCast. You can see a stray shower. I can't completely rule it out here throughout the day today, but overall, we're going to be dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we'll go throughout the evening hours just fine. And then once we get closer to midnight and beyond, that's when this line of storms is going to reach us. As it comes into Indiana, though, it should be weakening. That's the good news. It's going to lose the daytime heating. Obviously, by midnight, the sun has set, and then into the overnight hours, there could be a lingering, strong to isolated severe storm, and we are under the marginal risk for severe weather across western portions of the state. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it's just generally going to be just some rain. So the main threat today will be wind as these storms move through, or I should say the main threat this evening. Maybe I should change that title and kind of focus it on tonight and into the overnight hours rather than today, because again, the daytime hours today, we should be in pretty good shape. 60 in Bloomington right now, 57 in Indy, 59 in Lafayette. Temperatures warm quickly, near 70 already today by the noon hour, with highs right around 73 to 75 degrees across the area. Tomorrow's a cooler day with more clouds. We'll deal with showers off and on throughout the day, so make sure you take advantage of the day today. Tomorrow and Thursday are probably the two worst days in the 7-day planning forecast, if you want to put it that way. Thursday's definitely the coolest at 55 degrees with some lingering showers in the morning, and then things will start to get better. And then once we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, really, really nice weather heads our way, especially Saturday, Lauren. That's the day we'll highlight as probably the best day in the 7-day planning forecast, with partly cloudy skies and a high temperature all the way up to 76 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look over to the Greenfield area. I-70 of you here near State Road 9. You can see traffic is pretty quiet there this morning. No delays to slow you down. Don't forget, if you're taking I-70 into maybe the downtown area over here from Hancock County, keep in mind at 465, the westbound lanes are closed, so you'll need to take 465 around to the south side and reroute using I-65 into downtown, or you can use streets like Washington Street as a detour this morning. American Airlines is enhancing safety measures to help stop the spread of COVID-19 while traveling. Starting this Friday, May 1st, flight attendants will wear masks. American will also offer personal protective equipment to passengers. The airline also says it's getting more stringent with cleaning and customer spaces on planes, and they'll be sanitized every flight. American adds that it will start enhancing cleaning at its airport areas as well. The release date for Apple's iPhone 12 could be pushed back about a month due to the mass production delays. We can tell you that's according to the Wall Street Journal. The report comes as the coronavirus pandemic continues to affect customer demand and manufacturing in Asia. Apple plans to release 4 new iPhones later this year, but the Journal reports that the tech giant is reducing the number of phones it plans to produce in the second half of this year by 20%. Gumbo, makshu, and etouffee, some of the tastes of New Orleans, can be found at one of Indy's favorite restaurants, and the man serving them up has a personality just as big as those flavors. We'll show you how Yats is staying open. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here's a live look right now at traffic down on the south side. I-465 near State Road 37, the Harding Street exit. You can see traffic in this area is traveling up to speed this morning. We'll continue to let you know if there are any crashes or delays that might slow you down on your Tuesday commute. It is 5:54, and RTV6's We're Open Indy initiative continues to showcase businesses that are open and ready to serve you during this pandemic. This morning, our Brad Brown shows us what's on the menu at a popular Central Indiana restaurant chain with a Cajun twist.
You could walk right by this little shop on the south end of Broad Ripple, but those in the know that some of Indy's best food is inside.
Our customers have been so understanding and so generous with the staff. And man, I'm lucky I got these few kids that still want to work. This guy, that they still, are here working and making it happen.
This first location of Yats opened in 2001. Now they're all over the area. While some of those locations are closed for now, the ones that are open keep the Bayou flavors flowing.
Just wanted to, get grounded somewhere and just be in business where, it was not complicated and it could make a living and just kind of get along.
Joe is at the heart of it all, one of the great characters of Indy's restaurant community.
I don't know, like this guy, where are you going with that bicycle, man? The guy in here earlier, he wanted to buy a couple $100 worth of gift certificates. And I said, oh, man, we're okay. What if I die? I said, you're going to get jugged for the $200.
A little bit Cajun, a little bit Creole. Even if you don't know what it is, once you taste Yats, chances are you'll be back.
A lot of this stuff was from my mother, and people, they were cooks. Everybody was with my sister's a great cook, The white chilies from my wife. She's from Wisconsin. I don't know what happened there.
And an expert tip, get the extra bread.
The people, that's one of the things I love about Indiana, I love about Indianapolis, is the people, Next month, they'll be doing this for 50 years or half a century. So many times the people are really grateful that you're open. They leave and they say, thank you for being here. Thank you for open and being open.
Joe says he has no plans of slowing down anytime soon, wants to just keep on serving his customers as long as he can. Along with takeout, Yats is offering Pop Your Trunk curbside pickup at most of their locations. You can find that information and order online on their website. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. It is 5:56. We got to get a check of our forecast right now with Todd Clausen. Looking ahead to our Tuesday. We had a great Monday. Todd, what can we do today?
Today's actually a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, Lauren. A little more in the way of cloud cover, but I think most people will probably take that trade-off, and we are not going to see much in the way of rainfall during the daylight hours. It's been a few spotty showers here overnight with temperatures in the 50s across the area. Currently, those showers are currently moving out. Today, mostly cloudy skies. Storms do return to the forecast, though, late tonight, and by late, I'm talking well after sunset. So the daytime hours today are mainly going to be dry, so take advantage of that high of 74 degrees and the dry conditions during the day because rain chances are around for much of the day tomorrow. We'll talk about your Wednesday and beyond coming up in the next half hour of Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.